Giants took the series to 2-0.
Thank you very much, Pearl Officio. We are 2-0 to Giants. Great performance. Very exciting mid-game. But the picks and bans sort of were leaning towards that. I know, Sheepy, you were talking about the different power spikes and when champions would become enabled.
Yeah, you could already see that there will be a lot of mid-game play set up throughout those picks. You have Rek'Sai, you have Ahri, you have Hecarim, which are really spiking into the mid-game and really are the assassins. And you see on the other side, you have Corki with the Trinity Force Power Spike and Morgana, who wants to set up for the kills with Lucian together as well. And Gragas as well. So whoever comes out ahead in the mid-game, kind of scaling into the late game, both had kind of equal scaling, a little bit better onto the Reason Gaming side, I would say, with Tristana, but having less tankiness from the Rek'Sai and the Hecarim. I think just in the mid-game, everything was decided, and as well as we will see in those plays that we are going to review, just how great it was.
Yeah, before we get to the mid-game plays, though, the one thing we kind of have to look back at is that early game laning. Deficio just said at the end, he feels like Giants are a step ahead, or he said Reason are a step behind Giants in the laning phase. Honestly, Wirlib, yes, he's not going up against the likes of a Huni, a Freddy, somebody who's very dominant in the top laner, but this is a very different Wirlib to what we've seen in the regular season. He looks comfortable in lane. These are two new picks. Hasn't even really been struggling without the Jaxes. It's been banned. But I think one thing that highlights this more than anything, and it's a fun play that we wanted to just put a highlight on before we get into the serious mid-game stuff, was that gank top lane where Wirlib teleports into the lane, instantly ults Kuban under his own tower because of the lead he's got, and there's a gank from Gragas. So when we run this out, it's a fun little clip here that you'll see as we get it onto the stream. So at this point, yes, he's just got back, he's got an item advantage, but all the way through the minion wave, this is a setup with Frederick onto Kuban, hits him, knows Kuban's far too weak to survive this.
100% down instantly.
Yeah, instantly, and that's quite a dominant play in the lane. That's just telling you Wirlib knows exactly how strong he is in that situation. There was nothing Kuban could do.
That is not something we have seen from Wirlib
No.
all spring split long.
That was really decisive, especially seeing that Frederick comes from the side there.
Well, we did say it was going to be exciting mid-game. We've got a whole heap of replays to help show you that. So let's bring those up onto your screen and we'll basically just talk about how this mid-game played out, because it went very exciting for a long time. I think this team fight looked so good for Reason on the back end. Despite the fact that it was Giants engaging on them. Sheepy, I know you quite liked how this played out.
Yeah, Giants having a double knockup from Cyan, but the backline just doesn't get the DPS in. And then what a beautiful turn from Takefon and Hecarim, and from Tristana coming from the side, getting all the DPS on the backline. Cyan a little bit stranded, Morgana trying to help out.
One of the things here that really was opened up in the team fights was Kuban in the laning phase, Kuban outside. Kuban's ultimates got better and better throughout the game, and up until that last one, which wasn't so great.
And then you see Tristana running away here, struggling for her life, and oh god, the W getting interrupted by the Wrath of the Dragon. He didn't want her to let go.
Definitely did not. So this was the first fight. Less than a minute and a half later, a mid-lane fight breaks out around the tower, and it's just non-stop action. Is this what you were expecting when you saw picks and bans, Sheepy?
Yeah, I saw like both teams trying to assassinate each other and just constantly not giving an inch to each other. And you see the turns are Lubick hitting his Q this time, not on the tower. And you just see fighting over and over.
Now I have to ask, as the coach of a team who fights over and over, what are you telling your players? Like, you're watching this, how do you talk to Reason, how do you talk to Giants? Because this was 4 to 6 minutes of just non-stop action.
Yeah, usually you should take a step back and look really at what was the objective here. So Giants got actually the mid lane tower, and Takefon was actually overextending at some point to chase down the kill. And they got one kill for free, so just leave it there, push in the wave, and just play over the waves.
One really quick thing I want to ask about what happened after. The fact that Giants were pushing down into Reason's base. Reason left Saliva alone. He actually got all the way to Inhibitor. Giants took a Baron. Like, that's a very weird play. Is it good or bad, and why?
I think that it was a really great play by Saliver, and that they could contain Giants so long without losing too much was really, really great. And he got 3 towers?
Yep,
4?
3 towers in an inhib, and don't forget, there were no wards for Reason on the way there. The entire topside jungle, no wards for Reason. Saliver says, oh, turret. Oh, another one. Oh, a third one, and an inhibitor. That should never really happen, but Giants stayed too long in the top lane, then tried to go for Baron. They managed to bail out in the end, get the Baron. It all ended up well for them, but something that Monte Cristo was talking about on his countdown was when you have 2 teams that want to fight, if you fight over and over like this again and again, one team gets stronger every single time and eventually has just too much damage and will continue to barrel through their opponents. And as much as Reason tried to get back into it, Giants just were too strong at the end.
Barrel through their opponents with Kragas in the jungle. I expected more of you, Stress. Let's move on with the data. It's 2-0 to Giants. I want to give you guys at home a quick update. The International Wildcard Invitational Finals have actually just begun as it hits 4 p.m. Central European time. It is between Turkey's Besiktas against Brazil's INTS Esports. The winner will be representing their wildcard region at the mid-season invitational. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do. Maybe we'll have another kaboom on our hands. There are 2 games behind us. We want to check in with you guys at home and see what you have been tweeting on the question that we had asked you. Which promotion tournament team do you think has the most potential to impact the LCS summer split and why? We've handpicked a couple of responses. Let's start for one from @Mertruso. The person writes, Rockets players have proven their talent in the past. If they work on their teamwork, they can still be a challenge. What do you think about that?
I'll say the same thing that I think everybody always says about Rocket. They're a team that on paper should do very well. Unfortunately, they get to the stage, it doesn't always end up that way. I agree. Roccat, work on the teamwork. They've just brought in Yamato Cannon as a coach. Maybe that fixes a lot of their problems. Maybe they can perform again like they did in Spring Split in 2014.
Well, so far, Giants are doing well in their matchup. Roccat still need to prove it later today. We'll see if they can. The next one comes from @Avalanchio. I think Copenhagen Wolves Academy are really hungry to show that they can perform on stage after their loss versus Origin. And that was a heavy, heavy-handed loss. What do you think about Copenhagen Wolves Academy?
I think they are a team to look out for. They pick Fiora top lane and stuff like this, and they are...
oh, you would like that?
I would like to see this today, so that's something I'm looking forward to. Maybe they have other picks, people were trying out other stuff, and especially now with the time that we had between the end of the promotion tournament and the finals we had in between, and now the start of the LCS promotion match. I think teams could easily adapt, and you saw it here in those games. We see a Cyan first time picked. We see a Shyvana first time picked, and it works wonders.
Well, we'll see whether or not they can. They still have to take down Roccat on the way there. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you all chiming in. So stay in touch by tweeting @LOL Esports. Be sure to use that hashtag LCS. We will continue to check in throughout the day because we do have another best of 5 once this one wraps. For now, we're going to step away as these teams look towards their next match where it is do or die for Reason Gaming. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back, possibly with a new LCS team.
And this is crazy, but here's my number. So call me maybe.
There's the Roar of the Slayer, and he's not going anywhere. Turns around, tries to get a Furious Bite, doesn't get it. Pepinera now comes in from the mid lane. This has been such an extended fight. Here he goes, lands onto 2, follows it with the Decimating Smash and the charge onto Zai. He will be going down before the fight even really starts. Cunning comes across onto Celeber, zones him away. The Rek'Sai dies as well. Libic tries to get through the base gate. Giants take the second game, and it's best of 5. This is quickly becoming a clean sweep.